I'm Steven Santana with Illustrious Magic, here to talk about Oxenfree by Night School Studios. This is their first game out right now on Xbox One and PC. I got to play it last week. It's relatively on the short side, not that that's really a detriment to the game itself, but it was nice to have a game that I could very easily complete in a weekend since time isn't something I really have a lot of. So it's going to be coming to PS4 at a later date in case you're wondering. Sure, whatever, that's all the new stuff out of the way. So, the game itself. It's basically an adventure dialogue thriller. A lot of people have been talking about it in sort of a horror angle, which I don't really understand. Mostly because the game isn't really about jump scares or gore or like that typical, I guess, stereotypical type of scary stuff that you think of when you think of horror. I think of it more as a thriller, just because it has this very overarching sense of not doom, but unsettlingness with this force that is beyond your control or comprehension, that is kind of always there and very threatening. And so, because of that, I think of it more as a thriller sort of thing than a horror game. So, I don't know. I just wanted to address that sort of narrative that I've been seeing gathering around it. So, it's more about foreboding than anything like outright horrible. So, it does have some very unsettling scenes, though, such as the soccer ball sequence. That one was playing at night, during, I think it was last Saturday when I got to that part specifically, and it was kind of drizzly too, so it helps set the mood for the game itself. So playing it in the dark at night with, the kind of perfect thriller, unsettling weather was really good, and that scene itself is also really good at kind of unsettling you. The other one was the part where basically you meet one of the characters and they're kind of possessed. Spoilers, I guess, a little bit will happen in this. But that part was also a bit unsettling. So the game itself is the premise is you are Alex, you are with your new stepbrother Jonas, who you're meeting for the first time, going to this island called Edward's Island with your BFF Ren. And you're going there to meet up with two other characters named Clarissa and Nona. And basically you guys are going to go to the beach, have some drinks, and basically spend the night there just because you're teenagers. That's why. So, but Ren wants you to bring the radio, like this little handheld radio, I guess, that Alex has always had, basically so you can check out some rumors in a nearby cave, which it wasn't until after I played it that it kind of reminded me of the setup for Persona 4, where you hear the rumor about the Midnight Channel, and then you kind of actively engage with it. Kind of the same thing here, where you hear about the rumor, or a friend introduces you to this rumor of like supernatural type stuff happening, and then you engage with it, and it kind of jumpstarts the entire rest of the game. So, basically, you end up in over your head as, spoilers, dead souls are trying to take over your group's bodies so they can live again because their time was cut short in this world. So, it's a short game, and I liked all the characters except for Clarissa. I never felt that she was never really given great justification for her behavior. I just felt like she was kind of a dick just because, and I can see what they were going for her justification, but it just never settled well for me personally. So, but the step-sibling relationship between Alex and Jonas I thought was handled very well, and I enjoyed seeing their kind of dynamic of kind of being given this kind of preset relationship that has what is supposed to be love and care for each other, but they're being introduced to that relationship as not adults, but, as teenagers. And the way they handle that is actually really well. The dialogue is also actually handled really well in this game, where it's not super cheesy, it's not really dumb. It's actually it's handled well. It's not it's not Life is Strange, which a lot of people have complained about Life is Strange's dialogue, which tended to be a little bit more over the top than I guess it should have been. But the gameplay is mostly you wandering the island, which wasn't implemented as effective as I wanted it to be. A lot of it is done on a 2D plane, but there is some depth there as far as you are ascending and descending altitude, I guess you could say, climbing hills, stuff like that. And the traversal it just felt a little off. Sometimes it just wouldn't register when I was trying to go up. It just wouldn't recognize it, or when I was trying to do diagonal type stuff, because on the map it's diagonal, the pathway goes. It just didn't register really well, so I don't know. That was whatever. Also, the game crashed on me 4 times, which isn't great. It was during the loading screen. Whenever I would go from one section of the map to the next, it was in that loading screen that the game would crash, and I don't know why. I'm not a developer. I'm sure they know about it and they're seeking to address it. I've seen them talk about troubleshooting and implementing bug fixes and stuff. But this was something major that actually didn't really